Hello, welcome to anyone who's watching. This is Agata. So Agata's just done my coaching program, and she's very kindly agreed to just basically share a bit about her experience, tell us a bit about kind of her goals and the results that she saw. So thank you, Agata, for agreeing to do this.
Hello, hello. It was a
Awesome,
pleasure. hmm
no, awesome. I guess, yeah, let's get started with I want to know what goals, or let the people watching know what goals were you hoping to address when you started working with me and joining the program?
So it's not a surprise, I guess, for everyone. My main goal was to lose weight. The other factor was a context that I was trying to do it my whole life, and it was a big pressure on my head, and a thinking that I will never achieve that. So I wanted to change that way of thinking, that that's achievable.
Okay. And so you said you this is a goal that you've been trying to achieve for, do you say, most of your life, right?
Yeah, since my even before my 20s.
Yeah.
So I'm 36 now, so it's a
Okay.
huge, maybe not the whole life, but a big part of it.
Okay. So one aspect you said was kind of a mental belief aspect, and the other
hmm
was what other challenges did you face other than the kind of belief?
Mm, I think I was rejecting that, but there was a self-worth factor.
Okay.
I was connecting the self-worth with the numbers of the kilograms or the look, the physical look of my body.
Okay.
So that was a huge challenge to kind of swap that way of thinking,
Yeah.
shift that.
Yeah. And so for anyone watching, we address the four health pillars, right? Which is movement, nutrition, sleep, and the mind, right? Each one of these different facets is really important for an individual's overall well-being. And so, yeah, so within the mind pillar, we addressed a bit of that kind of negative kind of self-talk that is very prevalent amongst especially those of us with ADHD. Um, I know you had a bit of resistance to it at first, but how did you find it once we kind of encouraged you and pushed you forward with that?
Um, so I think that's a huge challenge, and it was more challenging for me than, I don't know, keeping the calories. I feel that a bit of a resistance is still there. I was so powerful. I think I didn't thought about this as, I feel that was the main factor I didn't lose weight during the years, even though I was thinking maybe it's more calories, nutrition, and what I'm eating, or
Mm,
maybe a balance of both was
yeah,
the key.
yeah,
Now, well, I definitely felt during the program that I'm managing both my mental health and ADHD symptoms much, much better. It's
mm,
just has changed the quality basically of my everyday life.
hmm,
So I'm happy about it. If you're asking
yeah,
how I'm feeling,
yeah.
I'm really, really happy and proud.
Because I remember
Yeah.
a specific conversation that we were having, right, where we're talking about just addressing that negative self-talk. And again, you gave me a bit of resistance, a bit of pushback, but then I encouraged you, and you played ball, and so you did it. You did some of the exercises, and you're like, Dylan, I've done some. I think I'm good. I think I'm okay now. And I was like,
hmm
look, I like to describe it like being in the red, being neutral, and being green, right?
hmm
We were in the red before, and so you do
Yeah.
some of it, and you go up to neutral, right? Where it's not so prevalent, the negative self talk, and that voice is just not as negative, right?
hmm
But if we continue to work on that a little bit more, we can go into the green, which is a whole different experience where it goes from instead of being bad to not neutral to you now have a cheerleader who lives inside of your head and is someone who is like super supportive, encouraging,
hmm
and your whole life changes quite a bit. So I want to continue to encourage you to continue to work on that even long after we're done. All right, so you reap the benefits from it. All right, but okay,
All right.
in terms of the results, right? So how did you yeah, what kind of results did you experience, as physiologically with your transformation and anything else that you can think of?
Mm. So I lost weight. main main factor. I lost centimeters. I definitely feel much better in my body right now. Um, I think when I look at myself now, um, I changed the self-critic into something that's motivating me. So I think that's a huge achievement. I like it.
Nice.
So I want more. I've got appetite for more.
Mm-hmm.
But now when I'm thinking, I think people can relate to it. You know, when you have a huge amount of kilograms of weight you want to lose, um, it's also huge pressure on your head.
Mm.
Now, because I've achieved that first goal, if I want to continue and let's say I want to lose 2 or 3 more kilos, like that, like I can do, like I know I can do it like this, I've lost like what, like over 10.
Mm.
So 2 or 3
Yeah.
is just like, okay, I can do it. I'm just going and I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
And I feel that brings more pleasure to a healthy lifestyle
Mm.
because my healthy lifestyle, even during those 4 months, yeah, it was,
Yep.
um, it was still pressured by having the goal of losing weight.
Mm.
Now I can kind of go to the period when, 2, 3 kilos might be even a side effect. When I
Yes.
can focus on, I don't know, getting in shape, more tone, etc.,
Yeah.
I feel I will enjoy it even more.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that's like, that's a really huge change that, as I said, the big part of my life was a losing weight goal, but now it's still a goal. It's taken so much pressure off my shoulder.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so, just so people have numbers, you just said you managed to lose over 10 kg. And then in terms of circumferences, so around the waist, which is my kind of, we take circumferences all over the body, but the waist one's the really important one for me. We managed to lose 13 centimeters in just like over 16 weeks. Well, actually, no, it was
Hmm.
in about 16 weeks because, yeah,
Yeah,
there,
because I had a break over holidays.
yeah,
Yeah, 2 weeks.
thereabouts. So 13 centimeters to have gone in from the waist is a huge achievement. All right. If people come in and they are able to lose 10 centimeters in a 16-week span, again, after doing this with so many people, I've noticed that that is a really nice amount and a solid achievement to achieve. So you overachieved in that sense. So well done.
I've lost the size of my clothes.
Clothes as well. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
All right. Um, what aspects of my coaching style or methods did you find most effective?
Mm, keeping me right. Being in touch when I got silent, checking on me, definitely. Um, no judgment. I really appreciate that, especially having ADHD. The fear of judgment is just in my head
Yeah.
all the time. So even though wasn't 100% on each single day, you weren't like, judging me, or getting me into the like negative thinking of like, oh, I didn't do it.
Mm.
You were pushing me forward
Yeah.
instead of focusing off, something that didn't go quite right.
Yeah.
And the one more factor is how you speak. Um, I feel like the when we talk, the tone of your voice and how you put your sentences together, like your communication style, I feel I really appreciate that. Like it's very calm, it's very straightforward. So that was, I think, helping me a lot also. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, so for people wondering, okay, like, this is obviously a health and coaching fitness kind of program, and some people might think, what makes this ADHD specific? And obviously we, as you know, address it in quite a few different ways, but even down to what you just mentioned, which is so a very common thing amongst people with ADHD is RSD, so rejection sensitivity dysphoria, right? So it's how we perceive and potentially take criticism falls into that, right? And so I that is we take that into consideration with our coaching, right? Because it's very easy for us to be like, okay, this isn't being done, and if we have RSD, we amplify, it feels terrible. So even down to that, we take that into account basically. So I
Hmm.
appreciate it, and thank you so much for noticing. All right, what I mean, we kind of this question is kind of been answered, but if there's anything else you can think of, like what significant changes or improvements have you noticed since we began working together?
Mm, my habits, I think, changing habits, like I think there are even the researchers that you need to do something like around 100 times for that to become a habit.
Mm,
And I don't know what it was exactly. I know that ticking the boxes of what I done daily was a huge factor and keep motivating me. But the habits shift, it's a huge achievement. The lifestyle over the weekend. I am a home worker, so I'm working home all day
mm,
and going to a walk and getting away from the flats even for an hour,
yeah,
I think I didn't thought of how many benefits it can give me. So yeah, that the habits factor,
yeah,
I think that's something that definitely I would like to add as a super huge benefit of,
yeah.
of, of the program. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, cool. You said kind of your weekend habits and stuff. What sort of
Hmm.
things change there on the weekends?
um, Parties, overeating, less alcohol,
Yeah.
focusing maybe more on relaxing and chilling. I'm also a very reactive person, so like more um, thinking about how I feel really
Mm,
and what I can do to improve that over the weekend rather than, I don't know, either go party or either go staying in bed for the whole weekend. What can actually help me to feel good and to stop having um, that boring weekends, like each looking the same and just basically making me down instead of, enjoying the weekend time, I guess. Yeah.
and how did you feel that I kind of approached that change in the weekend? Like, did you feel like I was like, nope, you need to stop this, and that, or did it come slightly more
Oh,
naturally?
I remember, you know what? It just come naturally. We taken under the consideration, my likes and my dislikes. We agreed to some of the weekends to looks better. I think it was one weekend each 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think when I started doing my first one, and then the second one maybe, or even I think after the first one, I was like, okay, it's not worth it to go through that the next weekend, so I will do the second one. And
Yes.
then okay, I, I've achieved so much changing that I was like, no way, I'm coming back to that, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes. Okay.
I remember it was me pushing like, oh no, Dylan, I need my
Yes.
weekends, I
Yes.
need my lifestyle. You were like, okay, so let's find a compromise. Maybe let's do each second one. I was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then after one or two, I was like, you know what? I want to come back to
Brilliant.
that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You literally just reminded me of that because that was again quite some weeks ago, um,
Mm-hmm.
earlier on in the journey. So yeah, so we had gone. Okay, you were in a habit of like pretty much it was the weekend, drinks are on, bam, 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 and then it's like okay, let's just do 1 week on, 1 week off, and then so through you experiencing the benefits of the off weeks, you're like screw this, and that's where it became more
Mm-hmm.
okay, beautiful, nice. That's really good. Um,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's important that we feel autonomous and we feel like we're the ones that things last longer when it's decisions that we have put in ourselves as opposed to just something that you come in and it's like what I mean, you have to.
Yeah, I'm the person who really dislike when someone tell you what you need to do.
Mm, hmm.
So I think altogether what you did was
Yeah,
kind of a key for it was my decisions basically,
yeah,
I think if you will be having your coaching style like you have to cut this, you have to do this, you
yeah,
cannot do that, I would be like, don't tell me what to do. More like kind
yeah.
of
No, it's true.
yeah.
And just for again for anyone watching, like it looks completely different for everyone. We've got very different clients, very different lifestyles, and so just because Agata went and chose, what I mean, what she chose to do with the changes in her lifestyle and the weekends and stuff, it looks very different for everyone. And the key thing is just self-awareness and making it fit, like for us, the most important thing is getting you results, right? And so long as we can get you results, we will adjust things as many times as we need to until it fits your lifestyle and we can keep moving forward week on week with the results. So yeah, that's just an example of what, one journey. Yeah.
hmm
um how would the people closest to you describe kind of the changes that they've seen
Hmm.
you've made?
Actually, I think I sent one of your coaching videos that gets into my emails each week
Uh-huh.
to one of my friends because I was super proud of my coach and I was like, look who I'm working with. Like, he's brilliant, bragging about you,
Thank you.
basically. And she also was like, oh my God, he's getting to, like, I don't know how, but what he's saying is resonating with me. And they were even saying that, like, your posture, how you say things, your calm tone, as I mentioned, that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So that was one of my friends. My partner has also was super proud and was seeing and just a bit of a context. He was a sports like a football player all his life, so um, you know his opinion was also super important for me for both because we are together as a couple, but also
Good.
from his background,
For sure.
so he was seeing huge changes, and yeah, and he was also the voice there, keep going, and keep that because I can see and feel that you're feeling better, plus you're looking better. So he was seeing all the benefits.
Amazing.
My parents were super trustful and super proud also. So basically, my friends, yeah, also bragging about it, like how it changed. Yes, my look, 'cause that was my goal, but also like the habits we were talking about and my lifestyle. So
Good.
yeah, they were all. Oh, so we got the bunch of people now bragging about you basically in the background.
No, we need them bragging about you again, because again, like, at the end of the day, I can give you the roadmap, but it was your actions,
hmm
you're the one who had to put in the work and you did, which is great. And life happens, things come up and kind of throw us off balance a little bit, but we just, as we've spoken, we got to try to break that and get back into momentum as quickly as possible. Um,
hmm
so
Oh,
that's
that was also, I think, another thing I can add
mm,
at the end. I think I don't want to finish without saying that in that period, which was very stressful for me, like again, instead of judgment, giving the advice and tips how I can adjust everything, that was super supportive.
awesome.
I think there was a week or two that if wasn't that support and your mindset to the support, I could easily give up. Maybe I wouldn't because of all of that was achieved. I'm now very attached to that.
Mm,
It's mine. I achieved that, and I want to stay like this.
yeah,
But that support was super super superb, basically.
awesome.
So yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
Super welcome. No, thank you. Okay. And if we were to describe your experience in a sentence, one last sentence, the over experience of the program,
hmm
what would you say?
You know what I would say? I thought I would say, oh, life changing, or like I would say that was a very calm process comparing to what I was doing before. And
Okay.
I think that was key. There was no sinusoids, like no, like, super down, well, I had those super up days,
Yeah.
like motivating myself, but all over, it was very stable for
Amazing.
me mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, I think, the factor that joined the dots together.
Amazing. Good.
Yeah.
I
When
mean,
we were starting, I was thinking like I'm gonna say something like, that was like life changing. My life is upside down, No, my life is very stable and very calm now, and that's the main point.
I really
Yeah.
like that answer. That was, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much again for taking the time to, to do this. You didn't have to, so I really, really appreciate it. Just again, gives people who haven't joined the program or just kind of a bit interested, gives them a little bit of insight of what, what we offer.
You're
And
welcome.
yeah, we've spoken. This is the end of the program, but we're gonna, you've got a plan moving forward, and then we're potentially going to be looking to do a next cycle in a couple months. So
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
excited. Thank you again.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.